Hello, welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. The news this week. With Tony Blair abroad, Gordon Brown was thrust into the limelight. In a keynote speech about Britishness this week, Brown said we should all have a flag in our gardens. And when we do, he'll introduce a new flag tax. Gordon Brown is rumoured to have made a deal at an Islington restaurant with John Prescott. Prescott agreed not to stand for leader so long as he could finish off Gordon's chips. The government's smoking bill sailed through the Commons this week. Under the new bill, you will of course be allowed to smoke in your own home. Although if a burglar breaks in, you have to stub it out because then it becomes his workplace. The ID card bill was also passed, but by a small majority. The government is keen to stress the benefits of ID cards, the prevention of international terrorism, controls on illegal immigration, and every time you get stopped by the police, you get nectar points. Also going to the Commons this week was the terrorism bill. Some civil liberties group have claimed that under the bill it could even be illegal to celebrate Guy Fawkes Night, or 5/11 as it's now known. US Vice President Dick Cheney shot a lawyer friend while quail hunting in Texas. The victim's name was Whittington, although sadly no one shouted, "He's behind you." Joining me tonight to work through a series of satirical games are six of the finest comedy performers. Andy Parsons, Rory Bremner, Greg Proops, Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Gina Yashery. Welcome to you all. All right, let's kick off with a round we call Headliners. I show the teams a recent photo along with the initial letters of a newspaper headline. They then have to tell me what the letters stand for. Here's a picture of Prime Minister in waiting and waiting and waiting. Gordon Brown. So what does BIDP stand for?
I think it's Bags Eye Downing Street parking place.
Is it Brown's invisible dandelion plant?
What about bitch and the Premier?
Brown dyslexic person is.
Brown's Iraqi death punch. It's what he's using to fight against Tony Blair's Tiger style.
I reckon it's the car advert, isn't it? Isn't it like, budget? It's definitely preferable.
Definitely B is for Brown, but it's about taking on more work.
What? Premiership.
Yes.
In dual premiership.
Yes, it is, yeah. The answer I was looking for was Brown in dual premiership. Very good. This refers to Gordon Brown's increasingly public role at the heart of the government, prompting speculation that Tony Blair is preparing the way for a smooth handover of power. So what did Brown stress there was no such thing as this week?
The Death Star?
He specifically said, I must reassure you, there is no Death Star.
The planet Gallifrey.
just over his shoulder, a big shadow suddenly appeared. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, and long. He said... No, it was actually a handover date. He said there's no handover date been arranged already.
Am I the only one who detects a kind of will they, won't they sexual tension between these two? Come on, Tony, this isn't about the economy. There's only been one thing showing continuous growth around here, and it's in my pants. Just sweeping everything off his desk. Climb me like a pole, Tony, and ride me like a mad dog through hell. We could buy a ranch and live like cowboys.
I've got to be honest, Frankie, I hadn't spotted that.
He's changing his image slightly, have you know?
Brown?
Yes, Brown.
Oh, he's gone from a red tie to a pink tie.
Yeah, he has, yeah. This
big
is
change.
his pink tie. Yeah.
Do you think it was a white tie that he washed with his red tie?
He
looks like he's been laid out in a coffin slightly, don't you think?
It'd be good if he sort of changed his image by working out instead of just what he wore. Like if he just came on with massive triceps and went, come on, how's about that?
So you should conduct all business now in a T-shirt with the sleeves ripped off it and just stand there admiring.
I think a lot of people in Labour thought he'd be different from Tony Blair, because when Blair invades Iraq and does the education stuff in the hospitals, people thought Gordon's going, OK, do what you like, do what you like. I wouldn't do it that way. But, you know, if you want to do it. But actually, it turns out he's even tougher. He's now saying, no, 90 days. I want people in prison for 90 days without trial, without charge. ASBOs for infants. Want that. There will be a new offence for glorifying the Battle of Culloden. And he's going to be even tougher.
It is strange because, I mean, this idea of sticking a pink tie on him is essentially like putting a waistcoat on a bear. Making the bear ride around on a bike in a circus environment, obviously, this particular metaphor. But then eventually the bear is going to snap and go, "Don't like the waistcoat." And the bearness of it will surely come out.
I do genuinely think, though, it's a good idea that the sort of handover is gradual, because I think the danger with Tony Blair's premiership is that, because he knows he's going, it gets to be like that period that school teachers have after the exams are over. And he won't bother with cabinet meetings. He'll just get all the cabinets go swimming and cancel every intergovernmental meetings, go to the Science Museum for the day.
What was a recent unusual event for the government, though, this week? What's the thing that happened that
They won something.
They did. They won a vote. On which vote?
Smoking ban.
Yes, before
ID
that,
cards.
they won the ID cards one first, yes.
This was surprising, wasn't it? Because they now want us to have these ID cards with a facial scan on them, don't they?
Yes.
Although the technology is such that at the moment that apparently 30% of the time these facial scanners won't actually recognise your face. You don't want to be there at immigration desperately trying to remember what face you pulled when you first had the card done.
What if you're a schizophrenic? You'll have to have a different identity on either side of the card, presumably. Which would be quite difficult. You have to decide who you are before you go through
Even if
control.
you suffer from dual personality disorder, you don't turn into the person. Like, it's not right. By now,
You
and
still
me,
have
but
the same-
sometimes I have a small handlebar moustache and speak like a 1920s silent movie villain.
They go wrong as well, aren't they? Because I think they've got iris information and fingerprint information. They've also got a barcode, so perfectly possible that you get through the first two, your irises are all right and your fingerprints are all right, but in fact, the barcode's saying that you're not who you are, you're a 250-gram family pack of shreddies.
Bad news, you're not getting in the plane. Good news, you've been reduced to 63 minutes.
What if you've had loads of plastic surgery? Pete Burns' card would have to be about that big.
If Pete Burns one, he's actually a hologram, you just twist it in different faces.
My understanding is the identity card is to prevent terrorism.
Yes.
Because terrorists often, flash a bogus ID before they pull their act? Like, oh, I thought that was you, Abdul David John.
It'll stop you if you're a terrorist underage drinker trying to get in free at the swimming.
No cider for you, Abdul Hamza.
He's not going to get through anyway. He's got a fingerprint and iris information. He's going to slip through unnoticed.
It is strange to see people getting up in arms about this. I'm not giving them my information, unless, of course, I'm online and want to buy MP3s or pornography. Then you can have all the information you want, absolutely.
But how much information do they need? This is going to have 39 pieces of information, so you're going to get stopped by a police officer going, "Oh, really? Annie Hall's my favourite movie too, sir." I'm afraid I'm going to have to arrest you for not putting anything under hobbies and interests.
Tony Blair missed the vote on ID cards this week after his plane was delayed in South Africa when the pilot noticed sparks flying from one of the engines. Blair panicked and his life flashed before his eyes, in a carefully edited version showing him in a more favourable light. Gordon Brown has called for children from deprived areas to volunteer for the Army Cadets. So there's an idea. Take some bored teenagers and give them a gun. Another bill that was passed in the Commons this week was the controversial terrorism bill, the government's official terror watchdog. I'm sorry, I just love the notion of it having an official terror watchdog. Sorry. Down, terror boy! Down, terror boy! According to the government's official terror watchdog, Fuddles... According to the government's official terror watchdog, there are up to 20 rogue imams in Britain, similar to Abu Hamza. Well, they should be easy to spot, then. I think the winner of that one has to be Frankie, Hugh and Gina. The next round is called Between the Lines and features Rory and Hugh. Would you make your way to the press pit, please? In this round, one of them takes on the role of a person in the news addressing the media, while the other translates what they really mean. With a change of leader in the offing, Rory, you are Prime Minister Tony Blair, reviewing his years in Downing Street.
Gosh, ladies and gentlemen, the world is a difficult and dangerous place. We face perhaps the greatest challenges we've ever faced in our history.
Time to go.
It is the greatest duty of any Prime Minister and any government to protect the safety and security of their citizens.
Whoops.
Prime Minister, I spend a lot of time lying awake at night, staring into the abyss.
I wish Cherie would sleep with her mouth closed.
All right. Look, I know that people are just going on and on and on about when I'm going to step down.
I know Gordon's going on and on and on about when I'm going to step down.
But look, when I do, I'm not a kingmaker. There will be a proper procedure for the succession.
Whomsoever pulls the sword from the stone, he is the one.
I know that in time, Gordon will be an excellent leader.
Of the opposition.
I know that a lot of people think that I'm insincere.
But hey, I love you all.
And when I actually do move on from my career in public service, I'm looking forward to a new challenge.
Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be James Blunt.
Well done, Rory and Hugh. Very good. Points there for Hugh, I think, and for Roy. What the heck? Now we play a round called Round and Round and Round It Goes, where it lands, do some jokes. This game involves Greg, Frankie, Gina and Andy. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is a stand-up challenge. Our random news generator contains a bank of newsworthy topics. We spin the wheel, and when it stops, anyone can step forward and try to make us laugh about the subject it's landed on. If I judge the player's got a big enough laugh, he or she is safe and gets to sit down again. OK, here we go. Let's have our first topic, please. It is the future. Frankie.
Worrying about the future is different if you're Scottish. So, like, English people are worried about the euro coming in because they're worried about what it'll mean for nationality and identity. And in Scotland, we're worried that they might close down Pound Stretcher. Well, the new coins be heavy enough to throw at referees. You know, people worry about global warming, and in Scotland we think, about time. I don't know if you've been to Scotland, but you'll have noticed not a lot of Scottish people have wind chimes in their house. It'd be like having tinnitus. and the winter is a tremendously difficult time of year for Scottish men to get laid, because Scottish women wear so many clothes. It's difficult to get at them. You know how in the movies and that, a young man's sexual rite of passage is the first time he manages to get a woman's bra strap undone. In Scotland, it's the first time you get a button off in her duffel coat. Oh, just another 2 to go. Then I've got my hands on that fleece. It's layers up there. Having a gangbang in Scotland's like playing pass the parcel.
Well done, Frankie. Frankie, sit down. Good man. Let's have another comedy topic, please. George Bush.
Oh.
OK, good man, Greg.
I volunteer. I come from America, and our president is a man of strong beliefs. He believes in Jesus Christ the Lord. He believes there's no such thing as global warming. And he also believes that if you put a playing card in the spokes of your bicycle, it makes it sound like a jet engine. I'm always blown out that they let Bush meet other world leaders. It's such a good idea on paper. And then he meets the other world leaders. I'm always waiting for one of them to go, I'm sorry, could I talk to someone in charge? I didn't know you were going to send the Walmart assistant manager.
I think you've done well enough. Let's give it up for Greg Page. Nothing but gold there. OK, that leaves with Gina and Andy. It's a tie-break. I'm going to pick one topic and you're both going to have a go on it. Let's spin the wheel. OK, the subject is crime. Gina, do you want to go first?
Crime. I think this country's a bit too soft on crime. A burglar comes into your house, you're supposed to cook him dinner, tell him about the error of his ways, and if you're feeling really generous or feeling especially brave, put him under citizen's arrest. What if you're not a citizen? What are you doing in my house, stealing my stuff? I am putting you under citizen's arrest. Shut up, mate. You're not a citizen. I'm calling immigration. OK, then, take the video.
Well done. Very good. But how will Andy do? Andy Parsons, come in.
I would like to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, right, I don't wear any clothes in bed. That's all I've got on that one. The reason, of course, right, if anybody breaks in, I figure I'm a little more scary in the altogether than I would be if I was wearing my paisley pyjamas. Obviously, I'd be even scarier wearing a gimp mask. Going, I'm so glad you've broken in. I've been looking forward to this moment for many years.
Very good. Well done, Andy. Andy's the winner. Jeannie, you may sit down now as well. This round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories relating to current events. For each category, I read out an answer and the players have to guess what the question might be. Andy, which category would you like?
Could I have world news, please?
OK, world news. The answer is 30 yards. What is the question?
Is it, when you've entered a marathon, is it how long before you regret wearing the rhino outfit?
On a Saturday night, what is the distance between Jodie Marsh's ankles?
Is it how much of a start should the British Army give Iraqi kids?
I've got it. Is it what is the circumference of the average American?
The bus is 31 yards away. How far can you run before it moves off?
Is it how far is the average child away from a paedophile if they sit at the very back of the classroom? It's the distance at which Dick Cheney considers someone to be prey. This is the distance the guy was away, isn't it?
It is essentially, yes, actually. The question is how far away was 78-year-old lawyer Harry Whittington standing when US Vice President Dick Cheney shot him?
What's fantastic about it is that he's... You know, all American politicians of that stature have bodyguards. But Dick Cheney's bodyguards are going to have to throw themselves in front of other people.
It shows how bad a shot Americans are. He shot him about 50 times and he's not dead.
He's probably got it the wrong way around as well. Because normally American presidents get shot, don't they? And vice presidents get shot. He probably thinks that John F. Kennedy shot Lee Harvey Oswald in his drive-by shooting.
I'm glad you could take time out to have fun over our tragedy.
Yeah.
To be fair,
That's all right.
Surely enough time has passed now.
I can take the hit. We got a world to run. Oh, that's not funny. Oh, I see.
I think it's good to see an American shooting the wrong guy and it's not a British serviceman. Apparently it was an accident, though, because Cheney was aiming for a Mexican trying to cross the border.
You can always tell the difference between American politicians, though, and British politicians, can't you? Because Reagan shot, Lincoln shot, Kennedy shot, Ruth Kelly hit by an egg.
You know what happened?
Yeah, he crept up. The bloke crept up behind him unexpectedly.
No, he actually shot a bird. Whittington shot a bird. He went to retrieve his own bird and then walked up towards Cheney, holding the bird up in his hand. And presumably Cheney turned and went, "Bird!" and completely ignored the man holding the bird in his hand. There was a bird flying there somehow.
I'm going to call him Dick Should Have Gone to Specsavers.
The actual quote from one of the doctors was that they estimated that the amount of buckshot in Mr. Whittington was between 5 and 200 pieces of buckshot. More than 5, but less than 200. We can narrow it down that much.
It looks to be the first time anybody has shot a lawyer and the lawyer doesn't sue.
No, the one piece of good news is that even though he did shoot him in the face, Cheney has won the contract to rebuild it. The lawyer, Harry Whittington, is now doing as well as can be expected. That is, considering his head is mounted on a wall above Dick Cheney's fireplace. It's not known quite why the shooting occurred, although it did happen just after Harry Whittington sidled up to Cheney and whispered in his ear, "Have you seen Brokeback Mountain?" To be fair, Dick Cheney is a very experienced shot, and his last shooting accident was over 40 years ago when he was hunting quail on a grassy knoll in Texas. OK, the winner of that round, I'm going to give it to Greg, Rory and Andy. This next round is our version of Question Time called Ask the Politicians. I'll play the host. Andy and Frankie, you're members of the audience asking questions. If you could make your way, please, up to your seats. The rest of you will make up our panel. If you could draw in there. Thank you very much. Rory, you are the Duke of Edinburgh. Hugh, you're a spokesman for the Conservatives. Greg, you're a TV evangelist. Gina, you are playing one of those members of the public they bring on once every so often on Question Time. And can we have our first question, please, sir?
Can I ask the panel what they do to combat bird flu?
It hasn't yet reached America now, bird flu. It is in
No,
Europe.
it hasn't. And the reason is our faith.
It's not the enormous body of water between you and Asia.
The enormous body of water that surrounds us was put there by the Lord to keep us separate from the evil flu that comes from other countries. A lot of the birds you'll find hold liberal beliefs. And I think that's what allows the disease into them.
Are you saying the bird flu is a punishment from God?
Oh, I'm not saying it's a personal punishment from God. I'm just saying those who get it know why.
The Conservatives, where are you on this?
Well, it's going to be very hard for me to adhere to, but I believe stay away from chickens and don't have sex with them. Or ducks or swans. I'm probably the only member of this panel who has my own personal swans.
That belongs to my wife, you bastard!
Yes, I've also had sex with your wife.
You lucky chap, I haven't for about 60 years.
Other than that, the only thing I can think of, really, is just fill Lake Windermere with Lemsip.
As an ordinary member of the public, where are you on this?
I think bird flu can probably be killed by frying it and putting it in breadcrumbs like Kentucky Fried Chicken does.
Well, of course, you can spray against it. Buckshot's the best thing.
Our vice president has been working hard on that.
I think possibly the answer would be to give ducks ID cards.
Another question there, please. Gentleman there.
Yes, could I ask the panel, please, what do they think is the best way for parents to discipline their kids?
Beat them! Beat them hard. Beat them every day. Don't beat them with anything. Shoes, belts, televisions, smaller children, anything. Yes.
I find myself agreeing almost absolutely with you. I was beaten very regularly as a child. It did me no harm at all. Apart from the regular bouts of bedwetting I still suffer. And the need to visit a dominatrix in Soho.
As a father of a massively dysfunctional family yourself, Prince Philip,
Well, they say you should discipline children by taking away their privileges, but with our children, where do you start?
Yes.
it's a moral issue, surely?
Well, as a member of the clergy, I have extensive experience handling young boys. And I believe that punishment should be made fun, and that's why I've come up with a Guantanamo Playland scenario.
Lovely stuff. OK, you can come back. Andy and Frankie, come back here. Points there for everybody. OK, our next round is called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way over to the performance area, please. I call it ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. First subject is what you don't want to hear a Prime Minister say.
Gordon, I've discovered how to make myself immortal.
Well, who'd have thought it?
Unfortunately, we have received no such undertaking, and we are now at war with Wales.
Oh my God, first celeb Big Brother, and now this! Yes.
Get me an 18-inch knife and a hand grenade. I'm sorting this Iraq shit out.
So, there were these two Muslims walked into a bar.
Oh, Mr. President, you're hurting me.
Just like to play you a little song I've written.
Members of the House, the band was... So what day?
OK. The next topic is in the week in which Tony Blair's plane was forced to land due to engine trouble, unsettling things to hear from the cockpit of a plane.
Thank God we're flying. I'm too pissed to drive.
We're about to experience a little bit of turbulence and then a lot of falling.
This is the captain speaking. We're out at the moment. Please leave a message after the tone.
Don't panic. Just think of it as landing more vertically than normal.
Help me with my seatbelt, Abu. I can't do it with this damn hook.
OK, Captain Thomas, when I tap the windscreen, I want you to stop.
If you look out over the right wing, you'll see the burning remains of the left wing.
Our next topic is bad Valentine cards to receive.
I want to bonk you senseless tonight. Lots of love, your cellmate.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I have chlamydia, and now so do you.
I can't wait to feel your flesh next to mine again. Love, Mum.
I will be as faithful to you as any dog, and come when you whistle.
Dear heart, are you paying too much for your car insurance?
I love you. Please send this letter on to 10 other people.
Let's leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of that round was Frankie. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Greg Proops, Rory Browner and Andy Parsons. Commiserations to Frankie Boy, Hugh Dennis and Jeannie Asheray. Thank you for watching. Good night.
A world of adverts to make you laugh over on BBC One in 5 minutes. The comedy continues with John Culshaw's commercial breakdown. Here on BBC Two, it's Newsnight and Newsnight Review in a moment.